Terry Brace, the Vice President of Exploration with White Gold Corp. I'm here with Cam Norton, our Exploration Manager. We're going to look at some Betty Ford core today and maybe go through a few maps. It's a project that we've been working on for the last 2 or 3 years. Got some really nice gold intersections near surface, and we're continuing to drill and basically expand the zone. This is the regional aeromagnetics map, the first vertical derivative. Up in the top left corner here, you can see the yellow star. That's Newmont's Coffee project. This deep blue line that goes through here is the Coffee Creek Fault. So you can see Betty Ford is basically the red star and is located just a few hundred meters south of the Coffee Creek Fault. And about 15 kilometers to the southwest, we have Casino's porphyry copper gold moly deposit, which is quite a large project in our area. Okay, so this is a drill plan map for Betty Ford. This unit that you see right here, this is our polylithic breccia unit. That's the host to the gold mineralization. We've got it traced now for about 500 meters along strike. That's the breccia itself. And then we have gold mineralization within the breccia over about 200 meters within that breccia unit. These blue callouts basically are pointing to drill results we got from 2021 and 2022. And then this year's drilling are in the red callouts. You see hole 13 had about 3.4 grams over 53 meters. The hole we're going to be looking at today is hole 14, just under 3 grams over about 46.5 meters. So some really good intersections this year as well. We widened that breccia unit at surface or near surface. You see these dash lines show where we had it interpreted originally. And like I said, this year's drilling, we've really expanded it in width to the west. This is a cross section showing hole 14. Again, the hole we're going to be looking at today. And again, you can see just about under 3 grams over about 46.5 meters. And then within that, we have a higher grade subinterval of 5 grams over about 25 meters. Again, you can see the breccia unit here in the pink color. Also, one important thing to point out is this oxide sulfide domain boundary. Most of the gold, or just about all the gold actually we've encountered within this breccia unit is within the top 70 or 80 meters, and it does appear to be related to oxidation. And then we have a bit of a transition zone where the oxide transitions into sulfide. So some of the higher grades actually are down, like say, at the base of the oxide and within that transition zone. Next year's program, we'll probably try to extend the mineralized zone off to the east. You can see we've got some holes drilled over here, but they're actually too deep where they intersect the breccia. So we've got several hundred meters of open ground here where we can continue expanding the zone off to the east. And I think that's probably what we'll do. Some short, shallow holes. What would you say, Cam? Maybe 125 to 150?
Yeah, about 150, 125.
Yeah. So anyway, that's probably what we'll be focusing on next year, just basically trying to expand it off to the east.
So what we're going to do here is just going to walk you on down the core, showing you our polylithic breccia and our gold zone. So as Terry mentioned, our gold really occurs within 2 separate domains of this polylithic breccia. So just for example, the polylithic breccia, here it is in front of you, and it's really defined by a rock with all these various rock fragments here. So the zone, really again, the gold occurs in the heavily oxidized domain, which is what you see in front of you here. And then we're going to start walking on down the core. And this gold grades in this area typically range from anywhere about 0.5 gram up to about 1.5 grams of nice, generally continuous gold mineralization, typically for about 30 meters. And then we start transitioning into our transitional domain, and that's where we actually see a nice notable increase in our gold grades. So now we're looking at about typically 2 to 4 grams per ton, sometimes up to even 19 grams per ton of gold. So a nice notable increase in gold grades as you exit out of this more heavily oxidized core and into this more very subtly oxidized area, which we call the transitional domain. Yeah, so what you can see in front of you here is really our most oxidized portion of the polylithic breccia. And for example, between about 24 meters and 25 meters, so this area in here, we're getting about 1.5 grams of gold mineralization. So really nice gold grades, nice and continuous throughout this interval. And then as we'll show you next, we're going to enter into our transitional domain, and then we're going to increase our grades to about 2 to 5 grams per ton average for another 25 or so meters. And now we're down here. This is the sulfide domain in front of us. So by and large, as we understand the zone currently, we're typically out of the gold mineralization by the time you enter into the sulfide domain. So you can really see on these fractures of the core, you're not really seeing any of this orange oxidation anymore properly into the sulfide domain. But, well, in previous holes, we haven't tended to see much gold mineralization. In hole 12 this year, we actually did intersect about 1.5 grams over 8 meters right in our sulfide domain. So we've been looking for what's feeding and bringing the gold mineralization to surface. And that's been a large focus of our program this year, is trying to find this feeder. So it's quite encouraging now to actually see some gold mineralization at depth in this sulfide domain. And we're also seeing a large number of porphyry clasts in this breccia. So part of the thought too is at depth, perhaps 500 or more than 500 meters down, there's a porphyry which is acting as a feeder and the energy bringing the gold up higher up into the mineralized domain that we see in the upper parts of our polylithic breccia.